That's not normal because usually with every position you go down, the gap between the interval between the points for that position and the next one is lower or the same.
Yeah,
Not,
yeah.
you know, oh well.
Yeah, fair.
It's for second place, I guess. It's not worth
Yeah.
it, really.
Yeah, I mean, maybe but a point, I guess, make it 44 points, maybe?
Yeah,
I don't know.
even that same situation.
But then if you get
4
40,
1 then
if you get second, and then you get hardest charger, then you have the same amount of points as first place.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Maybe one day it'll be perfect, but...
Oh, are we ready out? Oh,
Yeah.
we don't even have a choice.
No. Yeah. Okay, we got... Wait. No, whatever. 3, 5, 7,
Are we live?
4. Yeah, we're live now.
Okay.
Just accidentally goofed up something. No, why did I do that again? But yeah, we're live. Just give me 1 second and I'll do a little bit of an intro here. Back to Twitch. Okay, sorry, I'm just getting that final. Oh my god, I did it again. Okay. All I'm trying to do is just copy the link for the bloody stream, and I'm just like literally fighting myself. Oh god. Okay, there we go. Live stream links. Everyone. Short. Okay. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Whoever is tuned in, we've got a couple people in early on here. It was taking a second to get my bearing straight, and as while that was happening, we got a little bit of a follow from Luck Lira 14, so thank you very much. That puts us at 158 and almost at 160. If you know anyone, please let them know to follow the stream. We very much appreciate it, as well as all the other social media channels and platforms. So why am I getting into a little bit of that right now? I should be welcoming everyone to Bahrain Short here this Thursday night or Friday afternoon if you're in Australia here, as my co-host is Jacko. Why don't you say hello, Jacko?
Hello.
There you go. Man, I was
Happy to be back.
I was losing myself for a second there, but yeah. Glad to have you back in. It's Div 1, Race Week 2, Bahrain Short. Pork Chops is very excited to throw this one into the calendar here. And from the feedback from the pre-race questions, which I'll get to a little later, we've got some mixed reviews or mixed opinions on it. So I'm excited to kind of let everyone know what was been said. Spaceman says, "Hey, Crash and Jacko, have a good race." Thanks, man. You as well, Spaceman. Good luck to yourself. But anywho, Jacko, what would be your views on Bahrain Short?
I prefer the other layout that's in the game, but that's just my opinion. I like the corners that unfortunately were deleted from this layout, especially those sweepers. But this track also lends itself to a lot more DRS overtaking because there's less time to escape between the front straight and the back straight. And you could end up with a battle like we saw in Friday Madness between I think it's Tiak, the pronunciation, and I. There was something like 24 moves between just the two of us for P2 in that race.
Oh my god.
This race can produce some battles. The skill gap is a bit less, given that there's so much of the percentage of the lap is DRS opportunity. So we could see some upsets here, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little different for sure. You just actually recently raced this 2 weeks ago. In the Williams, was it?
That's right.
Yeah. So I never really was able to talk to you about your experience there. How was that for you? I imagine it was a little frustrating.
No, I think that was a friendly competition. It wasn't a serious thing. There was no points involved, so I just took it as a bit of a fun experience. Didn't really take it very seriously, and I think that the guys who had this race 2 weeks later, i.e. now, they were taking it a bit more seriously because it was an opportunity to make some practice. So, I was happy to be 5th in the Williams on realistic difficulty. That was very tough to to bring that up there. But Mystic did well as well, and he was a bit further up the grid from memory. So also in a Williams, I should add, as he is now. But now, importantly, it's set to equal.
Yeah,
so
very true.
This is a bit more serious, this race.
For sure. We got random series is going to set the first time here. Goes 58.5 around there. I think it's Scavney over next. Scavney comes into the early 59s, and then Haytite Gaming actually takes pole position away from Random Series as it stands right now, but Maomir is about to come across the line. Or no, he just starts his... No, I'm not. Okay, yes, he did. 58.2 for Maomir. Is that Enrique? That's a McLaren. Yes, it is an Enrique. It goes 5th. Slowest as it stands, Smith Pell, I believe. Smith Pell goes ahead of Scavney. The Red Bulls are starting their hot lap. Nicky is next to come over the line. And then I believe it's Cake. No, it is Seabury starting a hot lap, and the other McLaren and Yolmir coming over the line to start his as well, and then that brings that whole little cluster to an end. But early 58s by Maomir. Do you think there can be a mid 57? Do you think that's possible here?
Tough to say. Given the times now, it does appear that way. It does appear there will be a 57. Wow, it's starting to think that we're doing sub-minute laps in a Formula One racetrack.
Yeah,
I guess that was the case in the outer layout as well in real life last season with the Sakir Grand Prix. But it's been a long time since I've seen a sub-minute lap in real life other than the Sakir Grand Prix. Probably thinking about Brands Hatch. Might be that.
Yeah, it's not something that you're used to seeing in Formula One, that's for sure. Cake Thomas comes over 9th with an early 59, and then his teammate Seabury just edges him out. Yolmir, I believe, is next to complete a lap. But everyone's over half the grid now has set some times. Still have yet to see Mystic Joker and Jinnit to win it, so we'll see what they're made of. Yolmir as well. Ooh, Yolmir had some real issues. I think that was him that spun out in Sector 2 there. So he sets a 1 minute 13 seconds, so definitely looking to improve on that one. But Haytite Gaming with the 58.5 there, that's looking pretty decent for a debut in Formula One, or Midwest F1.
He's got some big shoes to fill in the form of Cam, who unfortunately is still yet to show for quite a few weeks. Hopefully he's recovering well, but Haytite in that Haas, that's pretty impressive for a first showing in Division 1.
Yeah, very much so. But we might see, I'd imagine we're going to see Scavney improve, and as well as Helg. Seabury improves up into 8th, as I say. That Yolmir, he's going to put out a decent time, as well as Kenny. Mystic Joker, like I said, Jinnit to win it has just come around the final turn, but he's invalidated. So we'll have to see if that holds out here. But as it stands right now, looking pretty good. Top 3, not too shabby.
So you asked me, Crash, but what is your preference for layout at Bahrain?
I mean, if you give me like 5 minutes and I were to go through all the different possibilities of layouts in Bahrain, I could give you a fun one. But you know what? The outer, I wasn't the biggest fan of. I'm going to be honest, I prefer this Bahrain short over the outer, which Formula One drove last season. My favorite is just the regular circuit.
So no love for the 60th anniversary circuit that they ran in 2010?
In Bahrain? Were they in Bahrain all the way back then?
Yes.
Oh, I'll have to check out that circuit.
It basically took the first 4 turns of the outer loop and then went back to the inside with a few more corners. It was the longest lap of the 4, well, the 3 that we've seen in real life plus this 4th one here.
Okay, you have to run that through me again. I'm trying to keep on top with who's next to come over the line. But okay, I've got Mystic Joker, but yeah, okay, run that through me again. How did it go?
So in 2010, it was the 60th anniversary, and to celebrate, the opening round was Bahrain, and the lap was much longer than the normal Bahrain. It took the first 4 corners of the outer loop, as Mystic now goes first, by the way.
So he works into 8th.
Of the outer loop, and then it turned right with a right-hand hairpin, and went back onto the normal track as we know it.
Ah,
It
well
was much
then.
tighter, but you know, it was my favourite layout. But you know, they've only run it once.
Okay. Yeah, it's different, that's for sure. Impossible Bacon actually snuck into the top 5 there. He's going to come into the pit. Mailmere, I think, is looking to improve. Just misses out. Still sitting second. Kenny's on an outlap. Mystic Joker is coming around. Kenny actually starts his hot lap. We'll ride on board with the entire lap of that. I'm going to pull up the 2010 Bahrain circuit.
Jin yet to set a lap. It looks like he's come in just now, so potentially either not happy with his lap time that he was about to set, or invalid, I would have to guess. This man was on pole the last 2 weeks in competition, so you'd expect him to be up there. We'll see what he can do. He's coming out now on mediums, it looked like. I'll have to check that. I'll enable the telemetry. Detail fitted. Yes, he's the only man with the mediums fitted currently. Everyone else on the soft compound, including, of course, Mystic, who is currently on pole, but very fine margins as we expected at this track, given that it's a shorter lap time. I believe it's going to be the shortest of our season, but the race time should be the longest, given that it's a 100% race, and the lap times are, you know, more than 50% of a normal lap time. Sorry, more than 200%. How's that work? Yeah.
I think it'll be around. I think it'll be around an hour, kind of as normal.
So anyone who's recording their footage might have to record during a potential safety car or a pit stop to get back to the start. That might be an issue for the stewards, but you know, we'll get to that.
Very true, very true. Super Nias is next to come over to the line. One of the final few drivers yet to set a lap here. Looks like he's going to go into the 59s. Oh, Super Ninas left the session after he crossed the line. Well done.
Oh, I shall send him an invite.
Random Sirius isn't too much down on his time, but barely does improve. Actually, improving 500ths of a second and overtaking Impossible Bacon. Enrique improving ever so slightly as well. But I don't think it was enough to overtake his teammate of Yulmir. Speaking of Yulmir, coming through Sector 2 here, around what would be turn 22 in the 2010 Bahrain circuit. But yeah, I've got that up on my screen now. That's pretty cool, actually.
That layout from 2010?
Yeah.
Not much love for it, unfortunately, in the community.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
be the
different.
one stand up for it.
There you go. Cake Thomas to improve up into 12th, right back beside his teammate. Is that Helg? No, that's Smith Pell. Smith Pell's into the pit. A McLaren, or Mercedes, sorry, of Jenna to win it into 15th on the mediums. Any time improve? No, I think Enrique is next, but he's needs to improve on a time. Kenny, man, Kenny just knows how to invalidate a lap, man. It's a skill, honestly.
But you have to be pushing around here. If you add 1 second to pole position, where are you? 17th. So I mean, it's fine margins around here. You've got to be pushing the limits in order to have a, you know, competitive lap. And we're seeing Jin here on the medium compound down in 15th. Only 8 tenths off though.
Kenny was really pushing the limits there. He went off at turn 4, trying to take a wide line. Mystic Joker lets his teammate go, but he is on an invalidated lap. Who's next over? Jinnit, Red Bull, McLaren.
I think you've got to be... We have to mention Enrique being in 6th. We're used to seeing him towards the back end of this Division 1 field, but this week the lead McLaren up in 6th. That's quite impressive at this stage of qualifying.
Yeah, he's usually a guy that has the solid race pace. So Kenny came over the line at 58.5, so it wasn't validated, so he would find himself around in 7th to 8th. Gave myself a big hill to climb. Hey, Hightower. Thanks for stopping in, dude. Appreciate it.
looking for any other surprises, and not really seeing many other than Jin being out of position. Can he get to set a lap time is, yeah, I hate to say it, but not abnormal at this stage of qualifying.
No, not at all. I wonder if Mystic Joker is lined up ahead of him here. I wonder if he might give him his teammate a tow.
Team tactics could come into play here.
Possible in the chat. Thanks, dude. Ooh, David Campbell 1 Jr. with the follow. Thanks for that. Much appreciated. But Kenny's actually into the pit.
Okay, so that theory's out the window as his teammate goes on to probably one of his last laps with 5 minutes left in this session. Although it's a very short lap time, so getting back to the pits won't be a problem. You could either do 4 one-lap runs or potentially getting more than 4 laps in here with some variation of multiple lap runs. I'm not sure how that'll affect the tyres. It does seem like a one-stop is viable here, but a 2-stop may also be competitive as Mystic runs wide but stays valid.
He did actually on that lap prior to that was the fastest lap of the session. He did just improve on his initial time.
Yeah, he was pushing that lap again though, so that tells me that they're able to extract 2 laps from these tyres, very much unlike some of the other tracks we're going to see this season.
Held down in 14th right now. They're not used to seeing that. Jinnit is well onto some fresh softs. He's going to come out and try and improve onto its lap time. Leviathan, I see that. Thank you very much. Thanks for stopping by. Orioles with the Prime sub. Thank you. It's me, JC, on my brother's account. Well, thanks for stealing your brother's Prime subscription.
As Nicky elevates himself to P7, lead Ferrari for the moment. Unfortunately, Ferrari had quite a poor round last time out, with Scavney running really high on the podium at one stage, but the strategy when the rain came just let him down a little bit. Nicky also outside the top 10 in that race, but now both of them inside the top 10 with a bit better prospects for this race, hopefully, for the Constructors' Championship, as they are trying to defend it this season.
So Haytite did improve. Helga's going to improve here. It goes up to 6. Jinnit to win it goes into 3rd. Time is starting to dwindle here. 3 minutes left. Mailmere actually takes pole. When did that happen?
Just now. No,
well,
it can't have been just now. It must have been a minute ago because
it
he
was
just
a minute
ago.
Yeah, he's just coming to the pit. Kenny starts his.
That. Apologies, Mayo.
No, well
That's
done,
a
Mayo.
lap. He's the first into the 57s.
Wow.
This is quick now.
Yeah, that's a banger of a lap, man. Well done, Mayo. Haytite Gaming, I was on him. Sorry, improved on his lap, but didn't improve on position. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just wondering if he can hold on to that with Mystic Jin behind. Jin having just set a lap though. Do they have time to get into the pits? Jin might struggle to get another lap unless he's able to go now with enough fuel. I'll try and keep an eye on that. Where's Mystic? In the pits?
No,
Jin's
in the pit.
pitting now, so yeah. I think his session may be over.
Helga's well into the pit. Is Kenny... Kenny is on a flying lap. He hasn't invalidated coming around the final turn. Ooh, keeps it clean. Not enough to go into the... He has to settle for 15th. Yeah, I think he was just being safe there. Yolmir starts his hot lap. Merc and Impossible Bacon is about to start his hot lap. We have C. Barry is going to come over the line, currently sitting 17th. Not going to improve here. He's going to have to go around track once more. As well, Smith Pell is going to start a hot lap. Next over the line is Cake Thomas. Cake is actually way down, 10 seconds down, and it's going to have to go around once more to try and improve as well. Pork Chops starts another hot lap as well. Hash about to start a hot lap. Sui about to start a hot lap. Random Serious on an invalid, so he's going to have to go around once more. Still has time. Enrique into the pit. And is that... Are we back to Kenny? Is that a minute already? Yeah, back to Kenny. Kenny is trying to improve onto his time. getting DRS into the 57s, 58s, is going to improve up into 7th. There you go. So yeah, like you said before, you're able to get two laps out of this. Yolmir goes into 8th. Mystic Joker starting a hot lap. Impossible doesn't look like he improved. Sorry to keep talking here, but it's just like non-stop, my guy.
Non-stop action. That's fine. That's fine by me.
Seaberry into 15th. I'm just trying to keep up with it all. No, that's Cake.
Oh, Mystic and Kenny got so close then. Mystic obviously on a flying lap. Kenny off the track completely. But they just converged and almost collided. But thankfully the teammates stayed away from each other enough for Mystic to continue his lap. Let's see, is he up? Where's the second split? Ah, it doesn't show me. Oh, he invalidates, I think. So,
ouch.
Does that mean Mayo is safe? Is anyone else on a lap? Hack, potentially?
Kenny is way down. Hey tight, Super Ninas, no. Yolmir can't catch it.
Hash is currently down, almost a 10th down, so not looking too good for the Alpha, although currently on the second row of the grid is not a bad effort. There's yellow flags in the last sector, not sure what that's for, probably just for traffic getting out of the way.
That's Seaberry, I think he's out of fuel here. Cake Thomas is coming around the final turn. He's virtually even on his time and then stays virtually even. No time difference there.
Hash might be invalid.
Smith Pell, and I think that's it. Yeah. Wow.
Mayo, is that his first pole in MidWest?
That's in Division 1, 100%. In MidWest, quite potentially. What a lap! Like bravo! Like straight up, like well done, Mayo. Absolute banger of a lap.
We were speculating about 57s, and he's the only one who made it into the 57s. So. Fantastic job by the Racing Point. Random Serious also in the top 5 for that team, so strong outing from those guys. Let's see where they are in the Constructors' Championship. I have a feeling they're quite high. IEP2, that's my guess. And that's correct, they're 10 points down on the leaders, Williams. With Williams in 2nd and 7th. So that's actually pretty tight between those two teams at the moment. With Alpha and Mayo in 3rd with 63, can't count them out either. Obviously that's Hash holding that team up high, and the other Alpha Romeo is in 20th currently. No time set by JC Blackley though, and that's because of a qualifying ban.
So the qualifying is up here. We got Mailmere on pole, Mystic Joker on the front row with him, Jenna Twin at 3rd, Hash 4th, Random Series 5th, Haytight Gaming in his debut in 6th, Kenny in 7th, Yolmir in 8th, Helgen 9th, Scavney in 10th, Enrique coming over with a fairly good qualifying for his standards in 11th, as he's usually a race pace guy, Nikki 12th, Impossible Bacon 13th, Smith Hell 14th, Seaberry 15th, Sui 16th, Cake Thomas 17th, Pork 18th, Super Ninas 19th, and JC Blackley 20th. Now, with this being such a short circuit, I noticed that within 1st to 18th was all within a second of each other. But with that being said, it's still a short circuit, so yeah, there's less track, so it sounds better. It sounds like a cooler stat than it is, but still something.
For sure. Very tight margins. Any mistake and you can find yourself losing so many positions on the grid. Well, we'll have to see what tyres these guys choose now. 11th down obviously have fresh tyres and the choice of compound. I'm not sure if you'll see anyone on hards, but plenty of mediums I would suspect from Enrique down. What do you think, Crash?
Well, I'm curious. Do you think, I feel like hards and then just trying to make it a one-stop would be viable here. It's just but it depends on if you can get the pace from the hards. Do you think there's? Do you think it's able? Or is one able to get the pace from the hards and make these last for what is it? I think this is 56 laps to maybe get these things going for like 35 laps, then throw on some softs? Or what? Do you have any idea what the prime strategy is?
The full distance is 57 laps. I think that the hards, you certainly can make a viable strategy with them, especially if you're starting on them. You know, people aren't at full pace at the start, you get a bit held up, but they're not that quick. I'm confident you can one-stop on softs and mediums, but the tyre life is questionable. So we may see two stops, we may see, well, if we see safety cars, everything's up in the air. But Hard, I'm not sure it's quick enough. I think I'd rather two-stop than use the hard.
I
That's
got
just
you.
me though.
Okay, yeah, fair. You're the former champion. I'll take what you have to say. So there you
Then
go.
again, I did get a puncture in France when I thought of that strategy. So
Yeah. So actually going back to the pre-race questions as I teased them earlier. And okay, quickly before you have you noticed what this Midwest F1 news by Monkey has been? Dude, this guy is absolutely ballistics, man.
Are you saying specifically one of the articles? I have seen some of them. Yeah, he's all over it. It's fantastic stuff.
Dude, daily, once if not twice a day, posting bios on many of the more well-known drivers in this league, and I don't know how many he's hit so far, but so many drivers have gotten their own bios from Monkey Mafia, and like I said, he's posting 1 or 2 driver bios a day, so it's just phenomenal stuff from him. Really
He's
cool.
Such a great member of the community, and we thank him for this. It's very
100%.
special to see things like this.
Yeah.
You got to appreciate it for sure.
Yeah, it's something that doesn't need to be done, but he's doing it, and I'm reading it every morning when I'm sitting having my coffee at work. Straight up, I'll be honest, like it's a good read. I'm not gonna lie, get to know the drivers a little bit more. Like this, it's so cool. But yeah, so pre-race questions. While we have a little bit of time left here, what I asked the drivers first off was, what are your thoughts about the circuit of Bahrain short? Are you for it, against it, or impartial to it? And as well as this question wasn't really taken for what I was planning it to be, but what percentage of people in Midwest, if you were to get into a scrap with, would you win? I meant that being lighthearted as in a fun, but of course these guys are like, as in like a fight, like an actual like toe-to-toe fist fight, except the people here took it, a lot of them, as like just getting into a driver fight. So like the answers.
That was my interpretation too.
Yeah, I know. It's just the Canadian terminology, I guess. Like a scrap is like, it's just a fight, right? It's but it wasn't. What didn't go the way planned exactly, but it was kind of funny the way that the questions came out. But that gave me an idea for the future. With that being said. But yeah, I'll get through them. Actually, I got time for the North Pole question. Okay, North Pole question was, with Canada being taken off the calendar, is it a track you prefer in-game or out-of-game more? And the majority went with out-of-game. So people not much of a fan of that. But I'll kind of take it away as I'm in mid-stride here. We are live here in Bahrain short. We are about to get into our 57-lap race for the first ever time in the Midwest F1 League, coming up Bahrain short in Division 1, and a jump start from Pork, like you said. But he says screw it, so he's just going to try and make up as much positions as he can. Jinnit to win it actually gets ahead of Mystic fairly early, but Mystic's got the inside line into turn 1. Jinnit to win it, tries to send it around the outside, but Mystic is able to hold on. Kenny actually makes up quite a bit of positions, and we got 2 Williams in the top 4 as it stands. Hash loses a couple spot, Haytite loses a spot, Random Series as well down the grid a little bit, but right now we're kind of forming into a little bit of a conga line. It looks like we've got a Haas out looking at the inside line of Yolmir, that is, Super Ninas's. Usui and the Pork Chops are getting into it. Hopefully no one's kind of crashed out. We seem to be fairly steady as it stands right now. But Nikki, the Ferrari going on the inside line, coming around turn 7 on Yolmir. Yolmir trying to fight. Nikki doing a good job on those mediums, actually getting the better traction out of the turn, and has got 10th place on Yolmir as it stands right now. Yolmir is a very wily driver here, so we'll see what he can be able to do. Super Nina says he's up 9 positions. Didn't he start in like
10? That's incredible.
Where did he just like cut the first like sector or something?
He's got no penalty, so I imagine he can't have. Otherwise, that would be... Oh, it's 11 now. Up into 8th position. Yeah, I think that's legitimate. That's crazy. How has he done that?
He's having like a Raikkonen as start. Back at, was it Mugello?
Hang on. Wait.
No, he's on.
Now showing 20th.
No, because that's just it settling down. If you look at the track, he is actually in 8th or 9th right now.
Can we confirm that he was in 19th in qualifying? Is that right? Yeah, he was. Okay. That's That's insane. What a start by Super Ninas. Such a short lap to overtake that many cars, double digits of cars, is a phenomenal effort. He doesn't have any damage, doesn't look like he's made any contact whatsoever, so incredible.
Mailmir's going to be in a little bit of trouble now as DRS is open. He's one of the only guys on the whole entire track to not get it here. Mystic Joker's going to be trying to hunt him down 2 DRS sections here, one in Sector 1 at the beginning and then one at the beginning of Sector 2. And then kind of Sector 3 could also have one, but they just kind of decided not to and said, screw it, let's just only have 2. So, I mean, it's honestly...
It's hard enough to escape a car behind without having a third DRS zone in this track.
Yeah,
almost
right?
impossible, I'd say, to get outside of a second before the next DRS activation zone.
Now
so
that's actually...
Mayo will be in a bit of trouble trying to hold this gap.
Okay, now, just for the sake of the question, do you think that the DRS section could be more useful in Sector 3, or is it better in Sector 2 here?
More useful in the sense that it'll set up a pass into turn 1, getting you closer for the the big long one. As we see, Mystic close enough already takes the lead. I almost think that they should only have one around here because it's too much.
Yeah,
it's
that's
way
true.
too easy to make the pass. DRS kind of ruins the race in this sort of environment. But we'll see if Mayama can retake the lead with the helping of DRS himself. He'll get it here, try and stay within 1 second in the next few corners, and then maybe at the same place he was overtaken for the lead last lap, we might see it swing back. But Mystic will try and escape a little bit. We'll see if that's enough. We should mention, of course, that the hard tyre is applied to both Red Bulls. They're the only 2 cars trying that strategy from the start, both outside the top 10. Quite a few medium runners, but everyone inside the top 10 started on softs. Currently, Enrique, the highest medium runner, in 8th place. I'm seeing Super Ninas in 20th on my screen, so is that the case for you, Crash?
Yeah, it says he's in 20th, but
he's done 2 laps on the tyres, so I think he's got a glitch.
I think
which makes sense because he disconnected in qualifying, so we'll have to count that his position after the race. On track, he is behind his teammate who's in 7th, so we're going to assume he's in 8th currently, I think.
No, on my screen it shows he's in front of him.
Oh, sorry, yes, in 7th.
As Hash gets Kenny, going around into turn 6 there. It looks like he got the move done around the outside. Let's see if Kenny can fight back. Moving up 3 positions off the start, but down. Oh my goodness gracious. Now down to 5th. That was a little bit of tongue twister there. But he's going to try and come back at Hash here. Hash will not get DRS. Coming down the pit straight here. Actually gets a little bit of oversteer as well. Kenny 4/10 out. Might be able to get a run in. Doesn't use the overtake. So it doesn't look like he's going to want to do it here, but may have actually had a chance if he used overtake there. But might be saving it.
I don't know if I'm seeing things, but Mayama was just under 1 second behind Mystic at the start of that straight. Did not open the DRS, but closed down the gap. So I'm going to assume that was a glitch from my screen, and that he did open the DRS. He's currently 7/10 behind, trying to stay in contact with the Williams, who of course won last week in high pursuit of the pole sitter. So the top 3 just about escaping from Hash at the moment, who's got his own battle with the leader's teammate in Kenny, who is the first driver into the penalty books tonight, unfortunately, for the Season 1 champion.
So Hell just got a nice little move done on Nicky on those softs, going around the outside of turn 6, sticking it all the way through turn 7. Nicky was having a little bit of troubles keeping the pace with him going through, and now Sui, teammate of Pork Chops, says looks like Jinnit to Win It actually just got Mailmere going into turn 1. Mailmere now down another position. Slowly kind of breaking away from these lead 2, Mystic Joker and Jinnit to Win It, as Jinnit's going to want to do his best to catch back up to the leader of Mystic Joker as it sits right now. Pit strategies could come hugely into play here. Now, from what I remember, it was that you can go really long on these tires, but once you kind of get to that certain point, you lose a lot of time per lap from what you could put in like lap 5 to 10 compared to like 25 to 20. Like you're starting to lose a lot of time there.
So a powerful undercut is what you're alluding to there.
Yeah.
And you're right. You're absolutely right. It is tough. These circuits that have the sort of the desert, they have the sand as well. I'm not sure if Codemasters are that into the, you know, the geology, or is that the right word to use? Geography, geology?
Geography.
You know, the sand makes it an abrasive surface, and theoretically that should lend itself to that sort of Abu Dhabi Bahrain characteristic where the lap times just drop off drastically, but you're not really in danger of puncturing. So I guess we'll see whether people decide to two-stop for that reason.
Ooh, we got a three-way battle here, four-way battle with Nicky, Helg, Enrique, and Possible. That whole pack from 8th to 12th there. All those positions changed around. It looked like Helg actually got a double overtake from 10th into 8th on Impossible and Enrique, as well as Sue Wee was able to pluck a position away from Nicky, as Nicky's on the mediums and kind of slowly losing positions as the softs still are able to hold. Oh no, and Nicky gets into spin out just around turn 8, and that is some frustration. Hannah, are you in the chat? Do you have anything to say about your client? That's definitely, if Hannah is in chat and watching this, that is a massive sip of the wine.
So that Italian flag stripes on the helmet of Nicky, not helping him there as he drives the Ferrari with the broken right end plate as well. Insult to injury. He'll need to make a pit stop fairly soon, although he might be trying to get to a pit stop window at the moment. Not pitting quite yet, but the number 64 suffering early on here, currently running in 15th.
Oh, the manager says tough stuff. He should have practiced more. Ouch. One of the more ruthless managers in the league, Hannah is. She doesn't allow her client to have any inch.
So Mayama, although it says he's 1.2 behind, he has got the DRS open, so it must have been within at the detection zone. He's still at 1.2 now, 1.3 even, so the pulsator is falling back. But I have to say...
Oh, yellow flag in sector 1.
Like, oh, what's happened? I can't quite... It looks like a Ferrari. Is that Scavney this time?
It is Scavney. I think he was pulling out of the way and letting the blue flags go.
Oh man, Ferrari having a tough break here. What is going on with the Scuderia guys?
After very good, very solid
and
qualifying.
Nicky in the pits too. On go the softs with a new wing. It's all going wrong. He'll be a lap down now, I believe. Both Ferraris a lap down. Oh, that hurts to see.
This is Monza of 2020 all over again.
No. If I could get back to my original point though,
yeah, go ahead.
What we're seeing here is a curse developing in MidWest, with the pole position not winning races. The last pole position to win a race was Mystic back in USA, I believe, which was like round 12 last season. I think he got pole in the next 2 races, but those were won. As Scavney retires, is there going to be a safety car here? No, he's in the pit lane. So 1 Ferrari down already. Yeah, obviously Meb won in Silverstone after starting second. What was the next round after Silverstone? It was Brazil. In fact, I won at Brazil, and Mystic was on pole. And then Jins won, has had the last 2 pole positions, but no victory. And now Mayama suffering that same curse.
Wow, okay, you might be onto something here. Impossible Bacon and Helg have been battling for several turns here now. Helg actually got into Impossible Bacon going into turn 1 and continued to fight him through turn 2, 3, and into 4. Impossible seems to have gotten the car fully ahead now. Enrique as well has the McLaren ahead of Sui's Renault as it sits right now. Maybe those softs are starting to fall off a little bit as the medium tires, or the 2 drivers on the medium tires, were able to get the overtake there in those last laps, but we'll have to see what can be done here. Can Helg fight back? Yes, he is. Down the pit straight to the inside line. Impossible, can't defend. Helg's got the car fully ahead, and back into 8th he goes, but he's going to start... Oh.
Impossible's around.
Oh, no.
Falling down in many positions. We should shout out Helg, by the way. He made that overtake with a broken wing. I can see that the right end plate is completely missing, so he's got some serious pace for that amount of damage.
Well, there you go. Yes, he does. Supposedly there's actually damage to the floorboards in this game too, hey? Have you heard that?
I have not heard that. It would make sense though.
You can actually see the damage to the floorboards.
Visual damage is not the same though, as Supernenas is stopped on track for me. I'm not sure if that's a glitch or not. He has fully come to a stop. Then again, my leaderboard shows him in 20th anyway, behind Scabney, who's DNF, so something's seriously wrong here. In fact, now he's invisible. Yeah, left the session. So some glitchy weirdness happening there for the Haas, unfortunately.
Okay, so he lagged out.
Hopefully he can join back. He should have invites to do so, but I'm not sure if it's worth it at this point if he's suffering that much.
So Kenny gets overtaken by Random Serious as well. Random's trying to get into the top 4. Hash and Kenny both under some penalties here, so Random is trying to keep it clean as well as get the done on track.
So Jin has stayed within DRS of Mystic, but Mayama falling back into sort of a realm of his own without any pressure from behind either. Hash is under pressure and in fact losing out to the teammate of Mayama, and both racing points now sharing 3rd and 4th. So that's strong outing for them, looking to claim the Constructors' Championship lead if they can. Mystic obviously in the lead with Kenny in 6th, so they're in sort of a Williams sandwich if you exclude Jin and Hash. But Hash with a penalty, so that may all change. Haytight Gaming running alone in 7th place. Probably a stress-free evening that he would be quite happy with. Let's see, Helg under pressure from Enrique. Enrique obviously on those mediums. Let's see, is he the highest medium place runner? Yes, he is, with Swee right behind on softs, then another medium runner of Blackley, who's come from the back of the grid to 11th place. Just watching things unfold in front of him, I guess, and making some moves. We haven't really followed him too closely, but he seems to have done quite well in the opening 14 laps. Lock up from Enrique, and Swee is putting a lot of pressure on. All of them will have DRS, this whole pack of 3 cars following Helg, who's got a bit of a gap, so won't be under too much pressure into turn 1. And no moves, it looks like.
When do you predict the stop for the softs is going to come?
Well, if these guys want a 1-stop, they're going to need to make it past lap 20, probably to around 21 to 23, 24 range. But if they're going to 2-stop, then we may even see them very soon into the pits. How many pit stops have we seen so far? Not many, I would assume.
2,
stops,
4.
Only Smith, Pell, Yolmir and Nicky, so 15th is the highest one of those. Nicky obviously was for a front wing change. I'm not sure what happened to Yolmir, obviously. He's second in the championship, so we'll be looking for him to make some serious improvements from 16th. Obviously on the podium last week. So, the McLaren driver, what tyre is he on currently? Let's have a look. Mediums, so he's looking at a 2-stop currently. He pitted really early actually, so probably for damage reasons.
Are you talking about Haytight, as he's just coming in right now?
I was talking about Yolmir, who's been on those mediums for 12 laps.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Smith Pell on softs for 12 laps as well. I would assume those guys had damage, which we didn't see.
So Haytight's come in for some mediums, potentially doing a soft, medium, medium. Actually, no, he probably can do a soft, medium, soft. Because I don't think he's not going to be able to last the mediums out the rest of this race. 41 laps.
I would severely doubt that if he could make that to the end. Running the number 14, potentially an Alonso supporter, but we won't make any assumptions there.
Can't assume gender.
Can't assume Alonso supporter either.
Yeah, exactly. He could be a fan of Jordan Henderson, captain of Liverpool.
Ah, true.
So there you go. But this line of cars from 7th to 10th continually getting DRS on each other. Enrique is just a little bit too far gone. Helga's doing a really good job able to keep Enrique at bay on those softs. A yellow flag in Sector 1 for God knows what. But we continue on.
Oh, JC Blackley with a beautiful move down the inside. Don't see many moves made there. What turn is that?
That's turn 3. 3 into 4.
Yeah, on Sui, who is coming back at him though. And around the outside, this could work, but doesn't. Okay, so I think that the group is in favour of Blackley at this point with those mediums. Yeah, the mediums should be coming into their own at this point. So we'll see if Enrique and Blackley can escape from the Renault of Sui. Also, Kate Thomas in 11th on hards should be catching Sui as well, you'd imagine.
See, Barry's getting really close on Impossible Bacon as well after Impossible's little slip up earlier on.
Yeah, Impossible will put a bit of heat through those tyres with that half spin. He's recovered quite well, running in 12th at the moment. Still the fourth driver on a compound that's not the softs. Oh, see where he goes a bit wide there. As they overtake, who's that? Pork Chops a lap down. Not having the race he was after. That jump start obviously really hindering him in the early stages.
Very true. We got Haytite going down the inside line for a battle of 15th place. Onto the fresh mediums has Yulmir somewhat at his mercy on 15 lap old mediums, but Yulmir's going to try and fight it back. Maybe not a podium in the cards for him here tonight, but potentially a top 10 if he can keep his nose clean from here on out. And he's going to come back down the inside line into turn 6. Haytite is right up on the curb, trying to do as much as he can to defend, but Yulmir does a good job of getting that position back, even being on the much older mediums. And a little bit of a lockup coming through 8. Might bring Haytite back into the battle, as he's into the slipstream down the straight going into 9, but not going to be close enough to make a move. He's going to save it down the pit straight going in back into 1 here, with Yulmir not getting a very good run out of turn 10 at all. And Haytite should be able to pull this move out fairly quickly here, as he's got the car fully ahead, and should be able to get it all the way ahead into turn 1, not even using the ERS overtake.
So if we turn our attention to the battle for the lead, it's been 6 tenths, 7 tenths for many laps now. Jin with a lower amount of ERS available to him than Mystic at the moment, but he looks comfortable just following, waiting to see how the strategy unfolds, I think. So whether we see an undercut here, kind of tough to say, but if either of these guys choose to pit now, they will emerge in front of Helg. So there's a gap there that they could make use of. So we'll have to watch this space, but potentially they're just trying to wait out the window to make a one-stop work on the mediums, as Kenny pits, the teammate of the race leader, Mystic Joker. So
I think that's really smart from Kenny,
because it'll be a bit close for the whole stacking bug. But yeah, smart from Kenny, and he might even be able to give Mystic some information on how the tyres are working. Although I'm sure Mystic will be aware of the tyre life of each of the compounds, as you have to be if you're a front runner.
Yeah, as well as he's done this.
No.
He's done this race fairly recently. Kenny comes out just ahead of C. Barry. Actually has to get a move done around turn 6 with some fresh mediums. Oh no, and Kenny spins! Kenny spins on some very fresh mediums. He's got enough track room to be able to get himself back, saves his wing. Not the worst thing in the world.
Those tyres will be hot now. Did he get on the curb? I didn't see it.
No, I don't think he did. I think he just got a little bit too heavy on the throttle coming out of 7. He lost 7 seconds.
The benefit he was looking for on the undercut is now completely shattered, unfortunately, for the Williams driver. But, having said that, he had a decent margin back to Helg, so his P6 may still be safe at this stage.
JC Blackley's coming back at Enrique around turn 4 now. Sorry to cut you off there, but Enrique went at Helg. Helg defended around the outside, and then JC Blackley followed Helg coming through turn 2 and then went around the outside in turn 4 and gets 7th place. That's another actually very well done pass by JC Blackley. Now finds into 7th place, trying to chase down Helg as Helg's softs are starting to wear out a little bit as JC is actually closing the gap slightly through sector 2 here. Sorry for cutting you off there. If you remember your point,
yeah, no,
by
great
all means, go ahead.
Opportunistic move there by Blackley, who's up from last on the grid to 7th. But now we're seeing some pit stops from the top 5. It's Random and Hash. Into the pits also comes Helg. He'll probably replace that front wing. I'll keep an eye on that. But all these soft runners now taking advantage of the pit window. So Mystic and Jin, and even Mayama, we'll have to keep an eye on them, see what happens. And it's the hard compound tyre for Helg, it looks like, and a new front wing.
Oh yeah, he was able to hold all those guys off with the damaged wing for the longest time there. It actually looks like
that was very impressive.
It actually looks like these hards are starting to come on as well, as Kate Thomas is putting in a lot of pressure onto Sui, as well as Sui's putting a lot of pressure onto Enrique. So Sui's doing a really good job on these old softs to make it work, and Kate Thomas is really showing some solid pace on the mediums or on the hards now, as he gets a really good run out of 8 and looks to try and do it even before going into turn 9. Has the inside line lined up. The car is fully ahead. It has to cut the curb, gets right on top, and by doing so makes himself lose 2 positions to Random Series and to Impossible Bacon. So a little mistake by Kate Thomas really hurts him.
Be 3 wide here on the straight.
Yeah, sorry, a little bit
of taking advantage of the soft or the new compounder tyre, I should say.
Ooh.
And cars on each side of the Renault there, so we're getting absolutely swamped. Opportunistic stuff there from Random, who needs to make these moves past these guys who will slow him up, having just pitted. Ooh. Impossible gets a huge tank slapper, and he'll be lucky to hold onto that position. There's cars everywhere. Oh my goodness, 3 wide. There could have been a big collision there if people weren't on top of their game. But these guys
speak of double Hash and Impossible Bacon get into it, and Impossible spins out around turn 6.
Damage to the Mercedes as well. I was going to say, these guys are, very good at keeping out of each other's.
Yeah, you can't say that. You can't say that. You haven't been in the booth too long, but you'll realize.
First commentator's curse.
That was that was all your fault.
I didn't quite get it out though. It wasn't.
No, but the F1 god sensed it. You can't even think it.
No F1 gods, please.
Yeah, you can't even.
Mystic and Jin in the pits, as well as Mayama. We almost missed that. They're going to come out in front of JC Blackley, so they'll maintain their podium status for now. Only just by Mayama. Although I think that's Pork Chops actually behind him in the lap to Renault, yeah. But Jin has fallen out of DRS importantly. It looked like Mystic, just before the pit stops, really pulled out a bit of a gap there. So either he decided to put his foot down or Jin was suffering from some tyre wear. Unfortunately though, the battle for the lead has taken a bit of air out of it, and Mystic is running away with it. Meanwhile, Mayama struggling to stay in front of the lap car of Pork. Is that ghosting on IC? What's going on there? Ghosting shouldn't be on, should it crash?
Usually ghosting comes on when there might be lobby lag.
That is... Yeah, well, we've seen it with Super Ninas, quite plausible. Mm-hmm. As the DRS is open for the Renault, and through the racing point he goes.
Oh, Random Series is going down the inside line on Enrique, still trying to pick off these positions here as he's trying to separate himself from Hash. Hey Tight, going down the inside of the pit lane, gets the move done fairly easily on Yolmir. Yolmir back in 12th. Smith Pell as well, still yet to pit on those softs, in 13th place right now. Enrique, still yet to pit on the mediums.
So those medium runners, we're looking for them to get to around 33, 35 range if they're going to make the same sort of length stint, maybe a lap or two longer than the guys who start on those softs went. So that's plausible, and JC Blackley in clean air is quite important for him. Looking to make a lot of positions. He might be the hard charger unofficially, but then without a lap time in qualifying, he won't get that point.
Yeah.
At the moment, who is going to get that? Let's have a look. Oops, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Position change. Yeah, he's plus 16, incredibly. without a pit stop made yet though. Cake Thomas also without a pit stop made, I think in 9th. So who's the highest with a pit stop made? All the guys who are anything other than +1 haven't made a pit stop yet.
Ooh, Random Series
so,
now shoots really hard down turn 6 and kind of gets a little bit over ambitious there. As JC Blackley is getting the aid of Pork Chops right now, as Pork Chops is giving him DRS. And Random Series, I think, was getting a little bit frustrated and tried to get a move done. But now Hash is down dragging him down into turn 9. It is alongside and ahead, as now the 2 Alfa Romeos are ahead of the racing point of Random Series. And Random Series is going to be shaking his head as that's going to hurt him a little bit. And
do the Alphas work together now?
Yeah.
And release Hash?
JC, you got to let him go. You got to let him go. He goes fairly deep. And, okay, yeah, proceeds to not really race him through the turn, and then holds up Random Series, and now he's going to race Random Series and make Random earn it. And Hash is going to get...
teamwork.
Yeah, Hash is going to get DRS. Actually, JC does let Random Series go as well. I mean, it doesn't really look like it, but he lets him go on the outside line. Random Series has got the full car head. JC kind of fights him, but not as hard as what he was earlier. But he is, be that it may, on some very old tires. But yeah, well done by the Alfa Romeos there, getting Hash ahead and now making it as difficult as possible on Random Series. Mystic Joker just snags fastest lap. I believe Jinnit to Win It had that before, with 2.5 seconds separates that lead there.
I think Bacon had it for half a lap, having disputed himself, but yes, Mystic now takes it away. The only 3 drivers in the 1 minute, or less than 1 minute 1, include Mystic, Jin, and Impossible Bacon. Bacon, unfortunately, the second Mercedes in 17th after a couple of sideways moments and one backwards moment, which has really shot him down to the bottom end of the grid, unfortunately. 4 drivers yet to make their pit stop. Obviously, they're on either mediums or hards from the start. 2 Red Bulls, 9th and 10th on those hards, and JC and Enrique 6th and 7th on mediums still from the start of the race.
So something important just happened that I should point out. Kenny was actually able to catch Cake Thomas and C. Barry, closing that 7-second gap after that spin, and has just recently overtook them both in back-to-back DRS sections. As well as Pork Chops is showing some really good pace here, because he's been giving DRS to these drivers ahead, but has still held them off for all these laps on some softs. And now Random Series tries to go down the inside line of turn 1 for 4th place, has a position. Hash, they were getting really close there. Both of them were getting a little squirrely down the straight here, but Random Series gets it done. And no, Hash breaks extremely late and gets back into Random Series and has damage to the front right plate on his wing. That is not what you want to see from Hash. That hurts.
That's key stuff. P3 in the championship after his podium last week. That, well, that's in jeopardy at the moment. So will he make a pit stop this lap? If he does, Softs will be pushing it to make it to the end, so he may require a second set of mediums. If he has them though, he had to have chosen balanced or harder prior to the lobby. Softer will have given him only 1 set of these mediums, so that may put him in a very poor place. We'll have to see if he pits this time around and what tyre he puts on if he does. Yeah, he chooses to stay out, probably wise, needs to get into a window for Softs. May only be like 3 or 4 laps of suffering with the broken wing, but that's exactly what I would have done, stayed out.
So looking at the penalties detail, there's only 4 guys with penalties, and 3 of the 4 have 6 seconds. So there's seems to be only like a couple of these guys who are like really struggling with track limitations, while the rest of the field is doing a very good job. So Hash, Kenny, and High Tight all seem to be running through a little bit of difficulties to kind of keep it clean. But Yolmir doing a really good job of staying with Hey Tight Gaming, with Hey Tight being 14 lap fresher mediums. And Yolmir has just been kind of just in the gearbox the entire time. Hey Tight, after overtaking him several laps ago, just hasn't been able to shake him. And Yolmir, being on 27 lap old mediums, is doing enough to stay close to Hey Tight. I haven't been able to tell if they're closing the gap to Cake Thomas all too much, so I'll try and keep an eye on that.
Yeah, talking about those penalties, the warnings you get at this track are not for cutting so much, but they're for extending, for going wide
What
on
the
exits,
hell?
and it's really easy to do at some of these corners, especially going up the hill, and also into this, you know, the short version. If you go a bit wide on the entry into that turn 4, you can
Get on board with
yourself for the
Sui
penalty.
right now. Get on board with Sui right now, if you can. Do you see the tire right in the middle of the pit straight?
I have seen a tyre on the pit straight before, not in this race.
Look at Smith Pell. Smith Pell's coming down the pit straight right now. Yeah, there's just a tire right in the middle.
I don't see it, but I have seen that before. Yeah, I saw it at Zandvoort before. It is quite odd, and it'll probably stay there for the rest of the race for you.
Oh no, that's just gonna kill me. I was about to commentate on the move that Kenny was making on Enrique, but the tire completely got, you know, the squirrel ran past and I got distracted. But I just found that hilarious. I've never seen that before. Out of all the races that I've commentated, I've never seen that. That's so funny.
And that can't be anyone's wheel, because no one has crashed out. Scabney, the only retirement so far, the actual first retirement of the season after everyone finished last round. But he retired in the pit lane, so I can't imagine whose wheel that would be. It might be a loose one from the pit lane, but yeah, that's not on my screen. That's a glitch. Kenny unfortunately picking up another 3-second penalty. Is that going to be how many now? 9 seconds. So the penalty master is racking them up. Unfortunate though, he's going to give up a few positions due to that. Where would 9 seconds put him? It's going to be what, 33? He's going to lose almost outside the top 10. So Kenny compromised. Although he might be making a move here on JC Blackley imminently. The RS is open. JC's harvesting, so he's not even going to bother defending. Obviously on a different strategy, and noticing that Kenny has those penalties. No reason or even potential to defend, I would think. And Kenny up to P6 on track.
Actually, 19 minutes ago I missed a follow from Active Slicks 16.9 or 169. Appreciate it. Sorry about that. Didn't catch that. We were kind of overtaken by what's going on in this race. There's a lot to take in this one compared to others, where you can kind of predict what's going to be going on with the pit stops, but in this one there's kind of different ways of approaching it. And it's kind of cool to see the way it all play out here, as Kenny's worked himself back into 6th, overtaking 4 drivers even after his spin, so he's going to be in real tough here to try and make these tires last another 23 laps. But JC Blackley...
battle for 15th between Nicky and Impossible. The Mercedes is down the inside of the Ferrari, although Nicky holding it around the outside, going up the hill, not quite able to hold the position though. How long have they been on those tyres? Let's have a look.
22 laps for Nicky and 8 for Impossible. I've got it up right here.
So you'd expect Nicky to be pitting very soon, I'd imagine. Probably for another set of softs, although what did he start on? Mediums, I think. So yeah, he could double.
Did both Ferraris qualify in the top 10?
I think Nicky got shuffled out. I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah. But anywho, that puts us at 161 followers. So next goal, of course, is 175. Let's try and get to 175. That'd be great. Anyone that you know, get them to follow the stream. Here we go. But you know what? These Red Bulls have just been like
solidly lapping.
Yeah.
JC and Enrique.
Yeah.
All 4 of them yet to make their pit stop 7th through to 10th. If we add a pit stop to their race interval, they're going to be looking to come around 13th. 14th.
Oh, here comes JC. Just came in right now.
Yeah, that's wise. I think it's time to pit for Enrique as well. Maybe next lap. This should be quite easy to take softs to the end, because they'll be fresh, there'll be less fuel in the car, more rubber on the track. They should last a bit longer than they did in the first stint. And out of the pits, the good stop for Alpha. Where will he emerge? Jin with the 3-second penalty, unfortunately.
Ouch.
But he was in no man's land, falling back from Mystic and quite away in front of Mayo, so that'll only hurt him to the safety car late in the race, which is not out of the question. Although we are yet to see a safety car this season, are we not? Yeah, we didn't see one last week.
No, we did not.
Bernd Mailander staying in the pits so far this season. Hopefully my second commentator's curse.
There you go. C. Barry is really closing Enrique down here, as these hards are are for sure the quicker tire, and he's got to get a good run out here, but Enrique's actually going to come into the pit, and as well as C. Barry, but C. Barry gets in the back of Enrique. Now he's going to need a new wing. Cake stays out, so now we're really going to see how much time, or how well these hards are able to do 33 laps old. We'll get a direct look at it, as Cake, 36 laps in, is the last driver to pit. Where is he going to come out?
So did Hash fix his wing as well? At the same time, I imagine he did, because he's lost track position to Enrique. So we've got to shout out the brain work there at Alpha. That is smart to stay and wow, around the outside on the pit exit. What an incredible move by Hash. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
He followed Enrique out of the pit lane, went to the outside, braked later, and just went completely around the outside at turn 1. Fantastic move, and he makes another move straight away on Nicky. 2 Ferrari injured cars there, of course, and Hash, who I was about to call out for being a smart guy waiting for the pit window for the softs after that damage 5 or so laps ago, has pulled 2 nice moves within half a lap. He's the only car, well, he's the highest car, sorry, with 2 stops made. The other ones being Smith-Pell and Yolmir. Unfortunately, Yolmir had that early damage. I'm not sure what happened to Smith-Pell, whether that's his strategy or whether that was for damage. Either way, 15th and 17th for those 2 guys. But Hash, having just made a pit stop, has potential to improve on his position. 55 seconds off the lead. If there's more pit stops to be made in front of him, he could see himself regaining into the top 10. Probably not too far into the top 10, but maybe you're looking at like 7th region, which would be a good recovery after that damage in 2 stops.
So looking at Cake Thomas's lap times right now, he just pulled up a 4. Oh no, we have a Merc off in sector 1. Oh, is that Jinnit? Jinnit spun out.
Lost a lot of time and position to Mayoma.
Oh, and Mayomir. I did not catch what happened there. His wing is
damage. I don't see any, but it could be, a light green or something like that. Did you see if he touched the wall at all?
I believe usually isn't a light green when the one of the flaps is gone as Hash shakes fast his lap.
Well, I mean, it varies. It's kind of not consistent.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes it doesn't show the damage you have. But yeah, well, that penalty now may hinder Jin more than we expected, if he can get back past, that is.
Yeah.
Kenny with another 3-second penalty, unfortunately. But Cake Thomas may be holding out, trying to pit as late as possible and go for that fastest lap, which is worth 5 points, don't forget. So it's a huge amount of points, depending on where you're used to finishing. Cake Thomas is a very capable driver, so I would imagine he is capable of setting the fastest lap if he has those softs available at the end, which he will.
I'm just curious on where is he going to come out. So Kenny's into the pit.
Another pit stop for Kenny. This is a bit early for his fastest lap tactic.
And onto some softs. Okay.
Cake, if he pits, he's looking to come out around, well, he'll be out in front of Kenny presumably, because Kenny was behind him, wasn't he?
Yeah, Kenny comes back out ahead of Hosh.
Ooh, he could be anywhere from 8th to 11th.
See, Barry Yolmir are battling it out with Mystic Joker lapping him.
Mystic with the fastest lap as well. Did he have DRS potentially on that lap? That could be key as well to setting the fastest lap if you have DRS on lap traffic, or on any traffic for that matter.
Yolmir gets the better of C. Barry there. Hash is within DRS of Kenny. JC Blackley's on for a really good finish here. Definitely does not need to pit. Helg ahead of him is on 16 lap old hards, but Helg has shown some really solid pace throughout. And he's actually holding off JC Blackley, and JC's going to send it down the inside line. Ooh, and nearly gets into Sui, and I think Sui sensed that and broke.
There's a clip there, and Helg's gone around. He just made slight contact with the rear left of the Alfa Romeo, and I think that's a racing incident from first glance. But
was that the Alfa Romeo? Oh, was it JC Blackley?
Side by side with JC, yeah.
Oh, Jinnick gets back ahead of Mailmere. Oh, and
so where's Helg ended up? He's falling down. Now his teammate is side by side. There's a bit of contact between them as well. It's all gone wrong. Smithpell now in front of Helg in the Alpha Tauri battle. But Helg was running inside the top 10. That's really unfortunate. Yeah, he won't be too happy with that.
Ooh, Kenny and JC Blackley tapping a little bit there. Kenny gets ahead, and now he's going to try and drag Sui down the line as he's got some fresh softs and is back up into 6th after pits ahead.
And he needs to escape from these guys because of those penalties. Oh,
yeah.
That was JC and Sui side by side. JC gets in front, has the inside line, and does he have DRS? No, he doesn't, so he's under threat here. Sui might get him back straight away. Who's behind that? Bacon and Hash.
And it's actually Hash going around the outside into turn 6.
Oh,
JC taps Sui. And Hash is now on to impossible as the Alfa Romeos are bullying their way through the Merc and the Renault.
Now, Hash made 3 positions there, but if you look at his left end plate, it's gone again. So that's unfortunate. He may be under threat for the remainder of the race. As Cake Thomas finally makes his pit stop, on go the softs. He's got, 16 laps to go?
All that battling ahead or behind Kenny is huge for him to try and open up that gap as much as possible, as JC Blackley is now going to look at his teammate on the inside line. As I think Impossible Bacon might be getting into a little bit of PTSD if he tries to make a move. It looks like we got an LFR guy cheering on Mailmere here in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, go ahead there, Jacob.
Cake Thomas, I think he stayed out a bit too long. The softs are going to go easily enough distance to make it to the end, but he's lost some track position there. He was in front of C. Barry. I think he should have been in front of the McLarens as well. Yeah, he'll be charging through now, but he definitely didn't use the most of those tyres. He may get past this lap though, so that might have been his aim.
Seabury actually had to get a wing change as well, so that just kind of shows you the difference.
Yeah, the undercut shouldn't have worked in that scenario, unless we didn't see Cake make a wing change as well. So Bacon, after multiple times facing the incorrect direction, currently running in 8th. So good recovery from the Mercedes number 2.
Yeah, he's just kind of... well said. He's just kind of there still. After all that's happened, he's still found himself back into the top 10.
Because the pace is there, and he could be in the top 5 on the pace, but he just runs into these small incidents, and that's enough to throw you several positions out of kilter. At the moment, JC Blackley putting a lot of pressure on his Alfa Romeo teammate, obviously with the damage.
I was about to say.
We might be looking at a P6, or even P5 here for JC from the back of the grid, because Kenny, obviously, sitting on what I believe is 12 seconds of penalties. Let me just check that. Yeah, 12 seconds.
Impossible is on 18-lap old softs.
Yeah, so he's got a, no pun intended, but an impossible task.
Yeah, I don't
think...
think...
He's going to have to fit again.
Yeah.
But fastest lap.
There you go.
May be his aim as well. But he should pit now, I'd say, to get the most out of us. Yeah. I mean, position-wise. So penalties, we're looking at Jin with 3 seconds. That will be enough to promote Mayama at the current gap. Kenny with 12, which will really hurt him. That'll put him, well, actually 11th at this stage. Oh, no. Yeah, 11th at this stage. Hash with 6 seconds. That'll also demote him to around the same area as Kenny, so they actually might be fighting on track. Not on track, but for position. 3 seconds for Sui. 6 for Haytite, who's fallen back from a phenomenal qualifying effort. Probably needs some experience with these guys, as JC, not an advisable move there. Just hang out for the DRS zone, buddy. But he will do that now as Bacon enters the pits. Good timing from him. Speeds in though. Not ideal.
No. It's
JC, I think if he had have not made that move into the last turn, he would have been close enough to make a move on Hash. But, you know, he's still there for the next DRS zone, which is coming up now. Probably not the best opportunity, so he'll probably line him up for turn 1 next lap.
Yeah, a little bit of a lack of patience play from JC there. Enrique is looking to overtake Sui fairly quickly here. Sui's on some 20-lap old mediums, should be able to ride these out for the rest of the race, but he's going to be able to lose some. He's going to be losing some major pace throughout. Where Enrique here is on some 8-lap old softs and was looking to actually get it done coming around turn 8, but I guess the experiences, you can say, coming out here and then just decides to wait for the pit straight. Gets a really good run out of 10. Actually gets a little bit of, I don't even know, fishtailing out of it. Sui's making it difficult for Enrique to get any sort of slipstream, but he doesn't really need it. He's got the pace advantage, and into 8th place he goes. And now behind Yolmir, the teammate, who's done fairly well here, worked himself back up into 10. He's going to be able to last out the rest of this race as well on these softs. Is right behind Sui, as he's going to try and get by him. And yeah, he is alongside of him, and down the inside line on the fresh softs should be able to hold this move out fairly easily. Gets right up on the curb, but gets the move done into 9th place. The two McLarens go ahead of the Renault. The IRL midfield battle coming into play there.
So news on Nicky, he did go for another set of softs to end this race. Currently in 17th place, unfortunately the lead Ferrari in 17th, how sad is that? But he may be able to make some moves. Impossible Bacon and him on fresh softs in comparison to the guys in front. Let's see what Helg's on. Where is the tyre? Helg is on very old hards, and we've got Smith Pell in front of that again on quite old mediums. So those guys may be looking at trying to hunt down the AlphaTauris, as well as potentially setting fastest lap for those 5 points. Cake Thomas also in that battle, but Bacon, there is the fastest lap with a 1 minute dead.
Isn't that satisfying to see?
It's only just quicker than Mystic, but that is enough. You only need to be 1,000th quicker to get those 5 points.
Yeah. Oh my, okay. Go on board with Seabury right now. Was it? Or where did he go?
I'm watching Seabury, what's up?
Or wait, is it Mystic Joker? I'm trying to. Where is? Yeah. Okay, is it Cake? You know, yeah, Seabury. There, you can see Super Ninas ahead. You can even go on with Sui. Are you seeing him without any wheels right now? The bot of Super Ninas?
No, you gotta.
Oh god, he's got no
glitch.
He's got no tires on.
Maybe that's where the wheel came from that you saw earlier.
Yeah, very true. That's probably where he's. That's so funny. Oh god. Oh, Yolmir actually looking to get a move done on his teammate here. Gets a really good run out of turn 5. Kind of a fake turn as is, but a turn is counted. As ahead of his teammate now, as the McLaren swap places, Cake Thomas is in a really good position here, as he's on some fairly fresher softs than Enrique and Yolmir here, so he might be able to find himself into 8th place and potentially a little bit higher with the penalties coming to Hash and Kenny at the end of this race. But once again, Cake Thomas goes over that final curb of turn 10 and puts himself in a real tough spot coming down the pit straight.
Big recovery drive from Yolmir, very impressive. After, of course, being 2nd place last week, found himself quite far down the order, languishing down in, like, I think it was 17th at one point. Now recovering quite well into the points. Well, obviously everyone gets points, but
whoa!
Oh dear, his teammate not in. Oh,
it was Cake and Enrique.
Enrique was having a good run. Finds himself 13th, unluckily at this point.
So I caught that actually, and from my perspective, I think, because both cars were ghosting, because Mystic Joker is actually in that pack right now. So all the cars near Mystic Joker ghost, and all the cars that are being lapped ghost. And I think it's just on shorter circuits that they do that, because I don't see ghosting cars on other cars being lapped in like full circuits. But I think on shorter circuits I've seen ghosting all the time on cars being lapped. But they were both ghosting because Mystic Joker was right around them, and I think Cake Thomas thought that because both of them are ghosting, he could just drive right through them. But when he got alongside of him, he kind of forklifted him off to the side, and it's just just like chucked Enrique off to the side there, because he got like right up and in him, and then just like their wheels came together, then Enrique just bounced off around out of turn 4.
Wow. So I don't think there was any damage there for Enrique, fortunately, as Mystic picks up a penalty. But here's something we have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
Random Sirius has closed the gap massively to the 2 cars in front of him. I'm not sure, I haven't looked at that gap for a long time, but he is within a shout of that penalty for Jin. So Jin may be looking at falling off the podium in favour of a double racing point podium here.
Yeah.
Mama currently within that 3 seconds, but Random Sirius not quite, but there is potential there. We have to keep an eye on that gap.
If these two are in the same party, Random Series just has to say, I'm nearly within range, you got to get up to Jinnit, and you got to fight him.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But Jin has escaped from the DRS zone of Mayama. Mayama was quite close a few laps ago. So maybe Jin getting a move on. He kind of needs to. I'm going to look for any more penalties. No, he's still on 3 seconds. So only going to demote him 1 position as it stands currently.
Penalty to
Smith.
Smith.
3-second penalty there. He's in 14th. I think he had one already, did he not?
No, that's his first.
No, he did not. That's his first. Okay. So, deep in the race, these guys getting their first penalties. Mystic, obviously, just a lap or so ago. As Cake Thomas makes a move on Yolmir for 8th place, but Cake also with a 3-second penalty. So, Yol still technically a net 8th with only 5 laps remaining in the race.
I think Cake may be under a little bit of fire from the stewards after this race as well, pending on if Enrique puts in a claim, because I don't think you can claim that one to be a racing incident. Their little twine, I guess they were in.
So looking at Hash and JC, the Alfa Romeo duo here, just in tandem, following along. JC is looking at P5 here with the
There's a
penalties
Renault
to 2 cars in
spun out.
front.
Is that pork?
But
That is pork.
Hash
Go ahead.
is just falling outside the 6-second gap he needs to Kenny, because those guys have 12 and 6 seconds respectively. So what were you saying about Renault? Was it pork or?
Yeah, it was
Sweet?
pork. Pork spun out.
Sui currently in 12th, his teammate of course, under fire from Enrique, and Enrique makes the move before the braking zone, comes across back onto the racing line, no contact, clean move, and Sui looks to come back at him, not quite. There is DRS opportunity here though. We'll see if the Renault driver can make that move. It's open, but I've got a really crappy angle, so I can't see what's happening, and no, he's not making a move.
No, he got a little bit of understeer actually out of turn 5.
So last week I mentioned that Mystic and Sui were related. I wasn't entirely sure how closely related, so I asked, did some research, and it turns out that Sui is the younger brother of Mystic. So
No way.
We've got a duo in the family running 1st and 13th currently.
Oh, there you go. You know what? There's been so much action in this race, I wasn't able to get onto the pre-race questions on what people thought about Bahrain short. But I've got a little bit of time here. Cut me off if there's any sort of battle, and I'll switch over to it. But I'll go to the question of what are their thoughts on Bahrain short. And Cake Thomas is actually, even though being in a top 10 position right now, against it. All of the short circuits are horrible, and Bahrain is the worst. Not sure why they're even in the game. So pretty ruthless. And Mayomir a little bit more of a a simpler response, with him responding, I raced on it a couple weeks ago, It's okay, nothing spectacular. And then Hash agreeing with Cake, all short tracks are meaningless in the game. They should instead have other layouts from the same tracks. That's a good point, but I still think there's a place to have short tracks in this game. It's just another track. Come on, I don't know, but whatever. And
I'd like to see them place the outer layout in next season's game as the short layout, because it was run in real life.
Why can't we have both? Like, what's the? I mean,
I find that there's no point running, tracks that don't really feature. This makes more sense than, say, Japan Short.
Yeah, Japan Short's so useless. Yeah,
but Jin is making a push here to escape the 3-second deficit penalty-wise. He's at 2.2 currently over Mayama. Mayama needs to hold those 7 tenths he has in advantage for the last 1.5 laps. It looks like Ram Sirius is falling away. He must have used the best of his tyres. At the moment, we also got a battle between Hash and Kenny. 7.5 seconds separate them on track, 9 seconds separate them on penalties, and also an end plate separates them. So that gap could extend. Should be close at the moment. Hash has it, but Kenny is pushing, and he'll want to help his teammate escape the clutches of Racing Point in the Teams Championship. Looks like those two teams currently the favourites, with Mercedes also there, but Impossible Bacon unfortunately down in 16th, not able to help Jin as much as he would have liked.
So Yomir,
those fastest lap points.
Yomir got a little bit of revenge for his teammate there, as he bumped Cake going into turn 1 and then overtook him going in through turn 4 and has got the move on track position. He's going to get it once the penalties kind of play out here, but with Cake actually having a chance at the two Alfa Romeos there, Yomir kind of just slotted his car in between him and said, no, that's it for you today.
I just noticed what's happening here. Jin is getting DRS from his teammate who's a lap down, and it's helping him extend that gap. It's 2.9 with only one corner left. Can he get a bit of slipstream here as Mystic missed it? He wins the race, second week in a row.
Oh my god, that is so close.
Oh dear, he's going to get DRS for a very small sliver of this straight.
Oh.
It's 3 seconds.
Oh, it's at 3 seconds right now. Oh, he's going to do it. Oh, wow. Well done.
He did it.
Bravo
Great
to the Mercedes. That was very well done. Only 5 drivers finishing on the lead lap. Kenny doing a good job, keeping it fairly...
So, talking of teamwork, Mystic has just saved Kenny so many positions because of those penalties by not lapping him.
Oh, that is... Oh my god, the teamwork today. Just, you've seen it from the Alphas.
Yeah, we've seen it from many teams.
The McLarens kind of had a little bit of it. I mean, like you just said, the Williams, Kenny doing the Kenny smash.
And of course the Mercedes, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, that was really well played by those guys. I think JC will be a bit upset by that. He probably was looking at that gap, although we can't say he's too upset. He gets driver of the day from last on the grid, obviously. But yeah, that's a blinder played by Mystic and Kenny.
Who's the hardest charger? Because if it's someone that we've had on before, I'd like to actually bring on Impossible Bacon and hear Impossible talk about helping his teammate there.
Yeah, okay. Good idea. I'll check. Let's have a look. If this will load, I've got a black screen. I think it's Cake from first glance, 17th to 9th.
Yeah. I think you're right.
So, running down the final order, we've got Mystic with a second consecutive victory. Oh, third consecutive if you count Abu Dhabi last season. Starting the season off perfectly so far. Jin in second, a great recovery from the penalty and from last week, obviously. Mayama from pole, a bit cursed that pole position for quite a while in Midwest, but a podium nonetheless. He's second in my memory in Division 1 with his teammate in 4th. Kenny, as we mentioned, in 5th. JC Blackley starting from last in 6th. Yolmir 7th. Barry 8th. Cake Thomas 9th. Hash rounding out the top 10 with Enrique Haytight on debut 12th. Helg 13th. Swee 14th. Then we've got 15th for Smithpell, Bacon, and then I missed the rest. We had one retirement, I believe, Scabney, unfortunately. So Ferrari not with a great round, and I think it was Nicky, Pork Chops, and one other driver that I've missed there, unfortunately.
So Impossible is going to join us here. I'm just going to make sure that he's in the party. So we got Impossible, Mayomir, Jinnit, and Mystic. We try and keep it to 4. You're just gonna make me be that guy on stream, that's okay. Just playing it. I don't know if I have Mayomir. Mayomir. Do you have a Mayomir as a friend? If so, can you add him? Oh! Hey, Mayomir's here. We're good. Jinnit's gonna come. Impossible. Impossible. Yeah, just invited Impossibles. Yeah, I mean, if you got any good questions, by all means, go
Alright, do we have Mystic?
Yeah, I'm there.
Alright, congratulations once again, Mystic. That is a 3rd consecutive win in Division 1. 2nd this season, obviously, out of 2. So perfect start. And I have to ask, let's forget the race victory, but did you just play an absolute blinder of a team strategy to get Kenny P5? He had 15 seconds of penalties, and I believe he was the last car on the lead lap. Was that the intention there?
100%. Yeah. I knew,
Smart stuff.
he brought it up to me. I was kind of always in the back of my head there, but he had brought it up that those cars ahead of me were the ones that he was, fighting. And, I told him, I was like, man, I wish you would have told me like a lap or 2 sooner, but because it was really tight. Oh man! Because after I went for that fastest lap towards the end there, I used up pretty much all the rest of my ERS, and then a few laps later, because I was just chilling, just following, I believe it was Yomir, just kind of like cruising with DRS and whatnot, and then Kenny brought that up, and I was like, oh, say no more, man. I got you. Let's go. And so I pushed like crazy. Absolutely pushed like crazy, and getting the DRS from the guys that were right there was super clutch. But yeah, really happy that Kenny was able to get P5 from that.
Yeah, I gotta say that we saw some great teamwork tonight from not only your team but several others. Any other comments you need to make about this race, Mystic? I know the first stint must have been pretty tense with Jin right behind, but then it seemed like at the end of the stint you had a bit better tyre life.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened at the end of that stint, because I mean Jinnit was right behind me the whole time, and then on the very last lap and a half, he kind of dropped back just a tiny bit. But I mean, I told him myself afterwards that, man, these tires are horrible. But yeah, congrats to Mayomir for pole. That was one hell of a lap. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get one last attempt at it, but it's fine. I knew my race pace was gonna be pretty good around here. I felt pretty good, so it was gonna be a long race as well. I just wanted to try to survive turn 1 and then go from there, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, congratulations once again, Mystic. That's another victory, as we said, and perfect start to the season for you, and, well, not quite for Williams, but I believe you should still be in the Constructors' Championship lead, although it's very close with Racing Point.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, moving on to second place, Jin. Congratulations on that very last moment second place, with that penalty looming over your head. I believe we've seen another great piece of teamwork, if I'm not mistaken, with Bacon, your teammate. He was a lap down, but providing you with DRS, it looked like, for the last few laps. Is that true?
Well, we wasn't in a party together, but I'm guessing he knew what was going on, like, and offered me the DRS for the last few laps, which helped. We've had our DRS, me and me already got second, for sure. Because I had no fuel, I had no ERS, I was managing fuel every lap, like.
Well, that's a great drive, and even with that communication, that's even more impressive.
Yeah.
Any other comments to make about the race? Like, I think you must have had a little bit of a spin at one stage.
Yeah,
because
I had a spin.
You lost a lot of time.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I just got on the throttle too early. Thought I could hold it, but nah, it set me off. Luckily, like, that bit where I went off, there's no walls on the edge of the track, so I got away with it.
And were there any prospects early on, you think, of making an undercut work on Mystic, or what was the strategy like going through your head?
I was just trying to keep in DRS, and then I made a mistake. I think it was a few laps before the pit stop, and that was it. I couldn't keep with him then. As soon as he broke DRS, there was no way of keeping with him. At all.
Oh well, P2 is still a great race, and a great bounce back after last week. Moving on.
Oh, sorry, quickly, actually. Jeanette, do you really think that you can beat Villarreal?
Oh, 100%.
Dude. Okay, and quickly before you get on to Impossible Bacon, I believe it is. Or, yeah. No? Is it? Whatever, who cares? Sorry. Mayamir, thank you. Sorry, okay. A shout out to the Div 2 podium of Matt Rose, T-Ash, and Uncle Ben's, as well to the Div 4 podium of Knuckles, Nitwit, and the G1819. So yeah. Sorry, continue as you were. Congratulations again, Jeanette.
Thank you.
Alright, Mayo. It's been a while since we've seen you on the podium, but we have seen you on the podium before in Austria last season in that mixed condition race. But once again here, and I believe that's your first pole position in MidWest, definitely in Division 1. So congratulations on that and on the podium. Can you give us an insight into how your race went and also on the qualifying lap?
Sure thing. Well, thanks a lot, guys. I mean, I was ecstatic. I don't know where Static is tonight, but yeah, I was ecstatic.
Static's retired.
Oh, well, sorry to hear that. But man, yeah, it was crazy. I knew Mystic was gonna be quite close to the lap times I was posting. I actually went out like 6 or 7 times. I can't, or at least I went around 7 times. Man, that last lap was really good, and I got pole, and I was really surprised by the fact that I got it. Beating Mystic at pole was intense, but I couldn't hold my pace during the race. Both Jinit and Mystic they're just a level above. So, I mean, what I'm gonna try to do is just try to seize the moment if any of them commit a mistake or something. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I wasn't with random in a party, but we could have helped each other. And I noticed as well that Impossible Bacon was, giving Jinnet a hand. And yeah, he just, he flew away. I mean, it was pretty difficult to keep that same pace and just be behind it. But it was pretty cool, this new opportunity to get a podium. I'm quite happy, and yeah, just keep grinding.
Well, yeah, congratulations once again, and obviously Racing Point looking very strong in the Constructors' Championship, 3rd and 4th here after strong results last week as well. I believe we'll be second still to Williams, but that'll be pretty close, and we'll have to keep an eye on that for the rest of the season. And no shame, by the way, no pole position sitter has won any of the last 5 races here in Division 1, so there might be a slight curse developing here. And once again, congratulations and phenomenal lap in qualifying, the only person in the 57s.
Thanks, man. Well, and congratulations to Mystic and Jinnet and Impossible Bacon for getting the fastest lap. Thanks, guys.
Thank you as well. You had a good race, man.
Very, very good lap by you. Was very impressed, man. Good stuff.
Thanks a lot, man. Appreciate it.
Alright, I might hand off to Crash for the final interview.
Oh, sure. Impossible, man, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Man, that was absolutely bro move of you. Not much of an interview, but more of a tip of the cap That was very well done, and yeah, I mean, that was just like we were watching it, and we were just like in awe with how well it was working out, and yeah, getting a little bit of extra points for the Mercs. But kind of take me through that, take me through your race to kind of lead you up to that point. Obviously, you had a couple of unlucky situations there. You want to take me through a couple of those?
Yeah, I had a pretty decent start after the chaos of turn 1. And then around lap 15 or so, I got caught up in a little incident with McLaren. I can't remember who it was, but they kind of cut me off going through turn 2, so had a little bit of wing damage. And then I think the lap I came in for my mediums got spun then as well, so didn't have quite a good lead up to the end. And then I saw Jin struggling-ish behind the racing point, so I tried to catch up and get in front, and then I had to kind of guess as much as I could if I was getting too far away or not.
No, it's
So-
perfect every lap. It was good every lap.
Thank you.
So now, are you guys going to start getting into a party together, or are you just going to rely on telepathy like you did today?
We'll get in a party next week.
Yeah.
It also works though.
Yeah, telepathy. Yeah, you know. I mean, you proved it here. I mean, it's that British connection, I guess. Hey.
Yeah, the only 2 Brits in the league, I think.
No, Will Ans is a Brit.
Oh
he's-
yeah,
Yeah.
he's full time now. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's around. He's around. He shows his face from here or there. But okay, so you're being a Brit, obviously a soccer fan. Who are you a fan of?
I'm not actually a soccer fan.
Oh my God. Oh, sorry, a football fan. Sorry to offend you.
Yeah, same thing.
Oh, okay. Oh my God. So what is it?
I'll probably
Rugby
be
for
the
you
only
then?
Brit, you know. No.
What? Is it drinking?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. All right. Okay. Professional drinker it is. All right. Yeah, but well done, Impossible. Yeah. If anyone, would you finish there 16th or 17th?
Somewhere around there. Not a very good race for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, if anyone were to finish that far back in the pack and still be up for driver of the day, that'd be you, my guy. So very well done.
Surprised I got fastest lap as well.
Hey, yeah, take the points. Yeah, good stuff.
Only 1 or something, isn't it?
Yeah, hey, come on, take the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
Better than none.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, all right. We'll bring it to an end here. Any of you guys, any of the podiums or Impossible, anything left to say here by any of you guys? Little shout outs.
Cool.
Mother's Day on the weekend. The mom watching?
Our Mother's Day went a month or 2 back, didn't it?
I think for us, yeah.
Yeah.
They have a different one. Again.
Well then.
Oh well. You lot enjoy your Mother's Day on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess there we go. Shout out to all the moms out there in the Midwest F1 League. Appreciate you for bringing us into this world. But anywho, Jacko, your goodbyes before I bring it to a close.
Goodbye, everyone. Looking forward to another exciting race next week. I think it's Monaco, is it?
Oh my God, yeah, Monaco night. What are these, dude? The first 3 tracks have just been like ruthless. Okay, and then we got Silverstone and Russia. Okay, so a couple of fun ones, and then Spa. All right, so the rest of the year finishes out pretty good. But okay, yeah. So Jacko, that was your goodbye, I guess.
Shout
Yep.
out to my teammate Kenny.
There you go. Shout out to Kenny. All right, and yeah, but I think that is it for us here in the Midwest F1 League. Like you just heard, next week, same time, Thursday, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, or 11:30 in Australia, or 12:30 in Australia.
11:30 in my time zone in Australia. There's multiple time zones, but yeah,
Okay.
11:30.
11:30 or 12:30. I can just say whatever and be right there. Sounds like. But actually,
don't forget 2:30 AM in the UK as well.
yeah. Sorry, thank you. I've got an Aussie beside me usually to be able to correct me on my guesses. But yeah, 2:30 a.m. in wow. So what? It's like 4:30 in the morning, 4:15 in the morning for you guys right now.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah.
Oh
You
my
shouldn't be
God.
jealous.
Man, kudos.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But tomorrow night, Gran Turismo Sport from Laguna Seca. So there you go. GT2 cars, 1 hour length as proposed. I'm not sure if Will Ans is going to broadcast that like he did last week, but hopefully he does, as that was kind of exciting. I don't have the game, and I like my days off, so I won't be doing that. But be sure to tune in Wednesday as we are in Mexico City for Formula 2 action. So hopefully we can see you all then, as well as on our YouTube page, as well on our Twitter and Instagram. We try and keep those updated throughout the week. So give us a follow there. We very much appreciate it. 161 followers right now on Twitch. I think we're around 85 on YouTube. So keep them coming. We're very happy with what we're seeing. Thanks for all the support by everyone. Have a good rest of your weekend. Actually, from me, have a good weekend. I'll see you Wednesday, but maybe from Will Ans, he'll see you tomorrow. But that is about it for us here from the Midwest F1 League. I've been Crash McQueen. I'm, of course, joined by my new co-host now, Jacko, who we're starting to really enjoy each other's company. There we go. Oh my god, I was so smooth up until that point. But yeah, that's it. Have a good rest of your night. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow. All right. Thanks, guys.